Hi, this is Sarah Lynn. I'm here to tell you a godly place story, and I'm so glad that you're here today with me. Let me set up my camera and we'll get started. All right, hello everyone. So, you know how to get ready. So, we're going to just take a couple of deep breaths together to help us to get ready to listen to this story. So, take in a deep breath and let that breath out slowly. And can you take in another breath and let that breath out slowly? Good. All right. So I hope that you're in a nice comfy spot so that you can listen to the story. Let's get started. Well, this is the mystery of Pentecost. Looks a little bit like a parable, doesn't it? It's in a box, but instead of being gold, this box is red. I wonder if it's like a parable inside. Well, the only way we'll know is to look. Let's do that. Let's open it up and see. Oh, all right. Well, there are some things inside to help us tell a story, but I don't think that there's anything else to help us get ready. So let's just get started, shall we? All right. Well, a long time ago, there once was a tower, and many people worked together to build the tower, and all of the people spoke the same language. And as they were building, the tower grew closer to God. And the people started to change the way that they thought about the tower, and they forgot why they were building the tower, and they started to talk differently. Their language got louder, and it was harder for them to understand each other. The people started to think that they were greater at building than God, and that they were better than the other groups working on building the tower. And soon it got to be so that the language and the talking was so loud you couldn't understand any of it. It was just a giant babble. And then the tower fell. And the languages broke and splintered. Each one was still beautiful, but they were broken. And then many years passed, thousands of years passed, and Jesus lived, and then he died on the cross. And the people who were close to him kept seeing him, and they didn't want to let him go. And so, pretty soon, something really amazing happened. Jesus' friends, his disciples, gathered in Jerusalem. We'll build Jerusalem like this. So his friends gathered together, and there was Philip and Andrew and Simon Peter, James the Less, and Bartholomew, and Thomas, and John, and Jude, and Matthew, and James the son of Zebedee, and Peter. Now there were just 11 of them because one of their number, Judas, had killed himself. He had already done that. And so they were in Jerusalem, and Jesus came to them again. And Jesus led them out to a mountain. And so they went out to a mountain called Olivet, and they gathered there on the mountain, and all together, they were on the mountain. And while they were on the mountain, Jesus went up so that the Holy Spirit could come down. Well, this filled the disciples with joy. And they went back into Jerusalem to the temple to pray. And so when they went back in, and then when they were done praying, they went to the upper room to gather again together. And it was there that they decided that they would have Matthias come as to replace Judas in their number. And so they were 12 again. And the disciples gathered again around a table on Sunday. And while they were gathered, a mighty wind rushed into the room, and it filled them with so much power that it was like they were on fire. That was the Holy Spirit. Their tongues burned in their mouths, and they all spoke in different languages. But the amazing thing was, when they went out onto the street, the people who were there on the street, although they were from many different countries and spoke many different languages, they could all understand everything that the disciples said. And so the disciples became apostles, and they went out into the world to tell this story throughout the world to all peoples, speaking all different languages. And on this day, on Pentecost, we celebrate to remember this story. So we remember it every year. Well, I wonder which part of this story you liked best. And I wonder which part of the story is the most important. I wonder if there's a part of this story that we can take away and still have all the story we need. I wonder if you have ever seen anything in our church that reminds you of this story. Well, I wonder if there's some way that you would like to respond to this story yourself. Maybe by drawing a picture, or by gathering up some of your toys and telling this story again, maybe to your mom or your dad or a friend. Or you can think of something else. But I'm really glad you were here to hear this story today. The story of Pentecost and how the church began. Well, have a wonderful week, and I hope to see you soon.